kidding. Thank God we do this though. This is the first time I've showered in a time. Hey Queens, welcome back to Gears and Queers. I'm Jake. It's time for another episode of Quarantine Garage, where we take all this lovely free time we've been given and put it into the cars that are slowly falling apart in our driveway, or in my case, the street. It's time for another Benz fix, and what is arguably the most dangerous one, it's time to fix a fuel leak. So let's do it. Chris generously loaned me some ramps, so let's do it. Well, we're finally here at the back of the Benz, if you couldn't tell by the back of the Benz and the extremely noisy street that I have to do most of my wrenching on. But this is going to be a bit of a juggling act as we attempt to empty the tank. I have a wonky fuel sensor, so hopefully I'm only working with about a gallon or two that's in the tank, but we'll find out. And everything else is pretty basic. Just screwdriver to take the clamps off, drain pan for any, unaccounted for drips and dribbles, and that's about it. So I'm gonna get under here, disconnect the supply line, and drain the tank, hopefully without any injury or ingesting any of it. Well, I know you couldn't have guessed that I would have been covered in diesel, but I am covered in diesel. But that was relatively uneventful. So let's wait for that to drain, and we'll go from there. I saved you all the expletives and me fiddling around with one hose, because it wouldn't have been very interesting to watch. Here she is, just dribbling away. As soon as that hose comes off, it goes everywhere. So you got to be quick with the funnel and gas can. But my predictions were about right. That actually might even be less than a gallon. So yeah, we'll wait for this to drain and we'll go from there. So here we are, guys. This is actually the culprit. Is this actual rubber hose here? This is actually a fuel return line. So the culprit isn't the supply line here, which is still draining away, and will apparently take 2 weeks at this pace just to get the last little bit out of the tank. But I might just pop it on and deal with the mess because I don't have much time. But these are two return lines that come back from the engine. One, to me, honestly looks like it has, I think these are both original hoses, or they at least use the original clamps on one of them. These have the little Mercedes star stamped clamps. But this is an actual braided line, which I'm pretty sure is original. I know it makes sense to do both while I'm down here, but as I was reading, I saw a couple references to using, braided line, like pressure rated. But the thing is, I don't think the return lines are really that are pressurized. So I think I will just be doing the one line that's leaking for right now, which I know most people would say is completely stupid and a waste of time while we're down here. But there's no leaks coming from this one. I've seen it leak from this one, and actually wasn't leaking when there was a smaller amount actually in the tank, but around I'd say a third of the tank and more, it was a pretty steady stream that you could see. And who knows if it was more as the actual engine was running, because I never really got into there why it was while it was running. So, but for now, I think I'm just gonna do this one. I know, tear me apart in the comments, but I don't have much time, and I again want to look into replacing this braided line and make sure that I'm not putting the incorrect fuel hose on it. Well, here we are, ladies. Final stretch. This is the hose in question that I have pulled off one of the fuel return lines. And you can see it was pretty badly kinked, so I'm wondering if this was a cause of any issues, or I don't really know how that would play into causing the leak, but you obviously don't want something in your fuel system kinked like this, and you can see a little sort of crack developing there. So I've cut a new section a bit shorter than what we have here, just to sort of take that kink out, and a couple new sort of American style clamps with the grooves and screw tightening mechanism. I really don't want to ditch these clamps though. I think they're original. I don't know if you can see, you see that little star logo right there? I just think that type of stuff is so cool. I'll obviously keep them for, if I ever sell this car. I just think that kind of stuff is cool, but for now, just in terms of, you know, quelling a leak, these new ones are going on. So we're sort of in the home stretch, so let's do it. All right, ladies, we are in the Benz. I saved you the pain of watching me pour an entire 5-gallon diesel tank into this thing. It's probably why my hands are so shaky, because it was quite heavy. And I am, as the French say, weak. So I haven't primed it. I haven't used the hand primer or anything, so let's see if she starts. It is warm, so it probably won't need to glow for very long. Oh. That is honestly surprising that it didn't take a bit more of a crank, but I guess a good sign. Let's head to the back of the car and see if we see any leaks. Hopefully you can hear me over the clattering of a 3-liter inline 5 diesel, but that's a supply line, so that had come off. I'm not seeing any alarming wetness. I wiped everything down to hopefully be able to see. And that, if you remember, this guy is the culprit. And I don't see anything so far. So, I guess we wait. Well, she lives. Fueling up now, looking for about 20 or so gallons, which is gonna be the real test. I really only noticed this leak when there was about, you know, half a tank or more. I feel like that sort of pressure was really pushing through the line, so this is going to be the ultimate test, so let's see. All right, well, final checks. I just took her for a nice long ride, and she has a full tank of diesel, and from where I lay, I don't see any leaks. Thank God, because this was awful. If you really want to test your flexibility, try getting under an old Benz on the street on nothing but ramps and see how far it gets you, because holy shit does it suck. But wow, thank God for that. Well, that does it for me today, because I am exhausted. God, it really sucks to lay on a concrete surface for hours on end. But I have been seriously lucky with this car that almost every fix has been relatively simple and straightforward, in the sense that what I think the problem is actually the problem. So thank God for that. But thanks for coming along on another little episode of Quarantine Garage. I wish I had something more grand planned, like dropping a transmission or something like that. But you know, I mean, these are the kind of small fixes that I feel like most people put off, that I'm, you know, trying to make the most of my free time and take care of. So just trying to stay productive during the old teen. But I hope everyone's doing well, staying healthy and not going too crazy in their respective homes. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Hit that little subscribe button, hit the notification bell if these things keep you entertained, or if you just like seeing me fluster and curse at Project Blowby. I will see you in the next one.